This week I'm driving the 2022 Hyundai Veloster N. If we go back in time, 10 years ago, Hyundai was unveiling the Veloster to take the place of the Hyundai Tiburon. But since 2020, the Veloster is only available with the N badge, the high performance model. So today we're gonna go see on the road if this N badge is worthy to compete against the Subarus, the Volkswagen and others. Under the hood of the Veloster N, we can find a 4-cylinder, 2-liter turbo, good for 275 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to an 8-speed DCT transmission. You can also opt for the 6-speed manual. All right, now I'm gonna test the acceleration. We've got a launch control. It's pretty deep in the menu, but still, I'm gonna activate it. Once I'm inside of the menu, I'm click on performance option, activate the launch control. It's pretty deep. It could be a little bit simpler than that. I'm on N mode and manual mode, so let's launch this thing. Oh yeah, it's pretty quick for a front-wheel drive sport compact car, and this is due to the ELSD, the locking differential. I think you know, for the power of this compact hatchback, it's really good. Tons of grip, especially right now. It's winter time here, so it's pretty much the worst for front-wheel drive, but still a ton of grip. You can do the 0 to 100 kilometers in about 5.3 seconds, and you can do also the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds. Not bad for once again, small engine front-wheel drive. With the launch control, it really helps. It sounds a little bit like a rally car. The shifting is pretty quick with the DCT transmission, and also they're easy to make a perfect shift. We've got a shift light in front of us, so if you like to do some track time, drag racing and all that, that's a big plus. Handling wise, the handling is pretty sharp. You know, with this shape of hatchback, it's kind of like a coupe hatchback. I think the center of gravity is lower. It seems lower when we're driving this little hatchback. You know, I think it will make a great weekend track toy, you know, on a budget, of course. But, you know, steering wheel wise, it does the job. And also you can adjust your steering wheel with the different drive modes. You know, obviously here in Canada, it's winter time. I'm not really able to really push it down the curve, see if it's oversteer or understeer in those conditions. Especially I'm not on the track now, but you know, just driving it on country roads and all that, the handling is pretty sharp, and you know, it can compete easily with the Germans and the Subarus and all that. One key feature about this handling, it's really the electronically controlled suspension. They call it the ECS. You know, those type of suspension you can find in you know, high-end Mustang, Corvette, BMWs, AMGs and all that. It's fun to find this type of suspension inside of a Hyundai products like this. It's a big plus, especially here the road conditions are not at its best, especially during the winter like right now. I think having both world, having a comfortable suspension, okay comfortable suspension, I could say it's still a sport little hatchback, and having a hardcore hard suspension all built in one. It's a big plus. You know, there's a big gap between the normal mode and the race mode. I really like it. And of course, you know, during my review this week, I was able to change my modes with the custom modes. So there's two buttons on the steering wheel. There's one with the drive mode, so you can change your driving modes with normal, eco, sport. And on the right side, you have another blue button with the checker flag, the racing flag on it. And now you enter the N mode. I think that's a big plus for this Veloster N. Once you press it, you're in the N mode, and when you click twice on that button, you enter your custom mode. With the custom mode, you can adjust your mode as you like it. So this week I choose to put everything on super sport, but I keep the suspension kind of comfortable because it's in winter time. It's pretty rough here. So you've got a little bit like that spider web graphic you can play with. And with that spider web, you can adjust your engine, your transmission, your ELSD, your exhaust sound. And let's hear that exhaust sound. It pops and you know, it's pretty loud. I really like it. Also, you can adjust your ESC, your traction control, your steering wheel, and finally, like I said, your suspension. You know, it's pretty easy to adjust once you understand that spider web, I could say. You really have to dig through the menu to find the launch control. I think that's one thing missing in all those, you know, blue buttons. I wish we had an extra blue button for the launch control. One key feature I really like about this cluster in front of me, we've got a shift light, so to help you on the track or at the drag strip to get those perfect shift. I think that's a big plus. Kudos to Hyundai to put a shift light. I think that's something missing in some you know, AMGs, Corvette and all that. Sometimes, you know, I wish we had some shift light like this. I think that's a big plus. Exterior wise, the design is kind of funky. We've got a big door on the driver's side, and on the right side we have two doors, so that's a three-door Veloster. If you're a little bit like me, you like symmetric things. It looks funky from my point of view. I wish we just have like a normal four-door. Not super practical also if you have kids, but you know, it's kind of different from the other, you know, small hatchback. You've got that shape, that coupe hatchback shape. I think it's cool looking. I think probably it's a plus also, like I said, for the center of gravity not having as high as a normal hatchback, but still funky looking from my point of view. But one key feature I really like, it's not super racer mode like the Civic Type R. We don't have any big spoiler, funky exhaust and all that. It looks like a sport model, but not over the top like the Type R. That's something I like about this Veloster N. But exterior wise, you don't have a ton of option if you're looking to buy a Veloster N. On the website, there's no spatial aero kit. You're not able to remove some spoiler. It's really either you're choosing the manual one or the automatic. So option wise, the only option you've got is pretty much the paint. Interior wise, we've got some racing seats. If you're big and tall like me, they're pretty tight. Also, I'm sitting pretty high. I wish we could lower a little bit more of those seats, just like a real race car. You know, I'm too tall, too large for this Veloster N. Probably, you know, if you're under 6 feet tall and under 200 pounds, you have no issues with this Veloster N. But still, those seats are pretty aggressive. I wouldn't do a road trip with this car. We got some blue touches all around the seat belt, in the middle of the seat, also on the shifter. Interior wise, the rest, it's all black, it's all plastic, but we're still in a, you know, sport compact car. Those finish are pretty normal. Steering wheel is the right shape. We've got that really nice N logo on it. Also, we got heated seats, heated steering wheel. There's no place to recharge our phone wirelessly. If we step in the back, there's not a ton of space. If you're looking to really use the rear seats, you should probably consider a real four-door or a real hatchback. Those, rear seats are pretty much similar to the one you'll find inside of a Mustang or a Camaro. They're really for kids or really short trips for a small adult. Cargo wise, it seems less space than the normal GT High, but it's actually the same cubic inches. But from my point of view, it looks less practical. The entry, it's not as large. So overall, rear seats, cargo wise, it's less practical. Even if the numbers seems to be similar, it is less practical than a typical normal hatchback. Fuel economy wise, this week I was averaging 9 liters per 100 kilometers, and 9 liters per 100 kilometers, it's with some aggressive driving. If you do a lot of highway and you put it on eco mode, you can go down easily in the 8 or 7 liters per 100 kilometers. This is great. I think this is a great daily driver you can use on the track on the weekend without making a big sacrifice on the fuel economy. Usually when you step up to the high performance model of a brand like the AMG or the M model, the SRT and all that, you have to make a sacrifice on the fuel economy. But if you step inside of an N model, it's not the deal. Price wise, the Veloster N starts just over 40,000 Canadian. You can opt for the optional DCT transmission. It's a good $1,600. So the model I'm driving this week, it's good for $42,035. So not a ton of option. Once again, it's either you're choosing the automatic or the manual transmission. I think the manual is pretty great also. It's got the rev match and all that. So basically you have to choose between the DCT or the manual. I think manual, it's a classic move, but if you drive a lot in the city or you don't drive manual, the DCT, it's a nice option. It's fun to have both, and I think the DCT is still a good transmission. It's not as refined as a DSG you'll find inside of a GTI or a Golf R, but still a lot of fun to drive. Overall, I think the Veloster N, it's a pretty good deal. It's cheaper than the competition. It brings a lot of that, M, division vibe. We can really tell the engineers behind these end products used to work at BMW with all those buttons and all those options, with all those performance features. It really feels like we're inside like a M model or AMG or something like that, but for half of the price or a quarter of the price easily. I think it's a solid choice versus the competition for the price. But for my point of view, for here in Canada, I would consider probably more a Subaru WRX or an STI, or even the Golf R, something with the all-wheel drive. I know it's not equal to compare this front-wheel drive Veloster N with an all-wheel drive, but still driving this Veloster N this week with those 19 inches low profile winter tires, it was not in the best in the snow. It was not the best also on ice and all that. So I think, if you're looking for something on a daily basis, practical all-wheel drive little compact car would be my choice, especially here in Canada. But if you live more in a warmer climate, I think either all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive is not a big deal. But here in Canada, all-wheel drive is king. So let me know in the comments which high-performance compact car is the best deal. Is it the Veloster N, the Honda Civic Type R, the WRX, the GTI, the Golf R? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And we're going to see each other on the next review.